guys, it's everybody's favorite time of the year. Not winter time. It's hot take time here on the Hoop Plug. First off, on our hot takes, bold second half predictions, man. Ty, let me see what you got for this one. The Dallas Mavericks will miss the NBA playoffs for a second consecutive season.
Woo! Would this be a huge knock towards the Mavs front office, bro? To miss the playoffs 2 years in a row with the player the caliber of Luka Doncic? It's practically asking him to request a trade. I mean, even the acquisitions at the deadline, bringing in PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, I'm still left doubting the roster. They're a good team, don't get me wrong. They got better at the deadline. The Kyrie Luka pairing is better in year 2 than it was in year 1. Yet it still hasn't been good enough. The Mavs are 14-10 with their big guns active. Grant Williams, they had to run out of town. It's not looking great right now for the Dallas Mavs.
Speaking facts. I'm gonna have to agree with this one, man. Yeah, it's bold. Yeah, it's a hot take, but I'm rocking with it. The Dallas Mavericks will miss the playoffs again. It's like you said, man. They're a solid team. They've made their efforts to get better at the trade deadline. They have. Their stars are clicking off. You know, the Kyrie Don pairing is a little bit better than we thought. But guess what? I don't think this has anything to do with the Dallas Mavericks as much as it has to do with the teams fresh on their heels, right? You got the Sacramento Kings. They were top 3 team in the West last year. You have the Los Angeles Lakers, who have been going on a run. They're looking like the real play-in tournament champions, you know. And as much as we want to talk about the Golden State Warriors and their dynasty being over, they've still got enough between Steph, some of their other guys to be able to crank some wins out before the end of the season. Not saying they're going to be a top 5 seed, but I say all that to say, man, given what the Dallas Mavericks are made up of and what these other teams that we've mentioned are made up of, it's going to be hard for them to stay in their position unless we see something change drastically.
Yeah, man. It's a roster that you kind of scratch your head when you look at. They got a whole bunch of guard play, and it's elite. I'm not just talking about Luka and Kyrie. Tim Hardaway Jr. is money. He's catch and shoot, hot pan, like ready to go off at any moment. But the defense is such a struggle. I mean, they'll score 130, but they're gonna give up 132. I don't think this team though misses the playoffs entirely. I think we're looking at a playing team here. But bro, if they do, if the prediction comes to light, Kyrie and Luka pairing does not work despite the offensive production, there's going to be major shakeup. I'm not just talking about with the roster. I'm talking about with the front office. I'm talking about with the ownership. Mark Cuban already looks like he has one foot out the door. He might put out the second one because it's a firestorm if this team misses the playoffs again.
You're speaking facts, bro. And it's like you said, I mean, we go down the roster, Luka, Kyrie, you got Derek Lively, young guy, Grant Williams, who you brought over, Seth Curry's been playing well, Tim Hardaway Jr., looking like 6th man of the year. I mean, seriously, the squad is solid, right? But then you compare down the line to other teams. And I think really the problem with this Dallas Mavericks team is that you have too much similarity in your stars, right? If you're able to get some distribution in terms of position, right, to be able to do different things on the floor from your best players, I think it would be different, right? But the fact is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know you Dallas Mavericks fans at home might disagree, right? As much as we see and think Kyrie and Luka have been able to make it work, these players are too similar for it to really lead into meaningful winning basketball.
It's tough because they are so good on offense. It is a little bit my turn, your turn, but that's what it was like in Cleveland, and it worked. It's just the defense that scares me. If they could have figured out Porzingis working there, you have a big to protect the rim. Derek Lively's been good. He's just really green, fresh out of college. The impact is going to be limited, especially if we're talking about postseason. I just don't see the defensive manpower to who's guarding Jokic, KD, Devin Book. They don't have anyone to throw at these guys. Like it's, I don't know. That part's the concern.
Nah, facts. And I'll tell you what, though. I think this is where I think the situation between the Dallas Mavericks team and the Cleveland Cavaliers that won the championship are different. As much as I love Luka, as much as I love Kyrie, there ain't no LeBron on that team. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real here. And if you look down the roster, that 2015-16 Cavaliers, right? They weren't well coached. You know, it wasn't like they had stars all throughout, right? But the key difference maker that this team, the Dallas Mavericks, are missing compared to that Cleveland Cavaliers team is Kevin Love. a perennial superstar who's willing to commit strictly to the defensive end. And you go down the roster, you mentioned something. You said Green. And I think that's the difference maker between this Dallas team and that Cavs team. I mean, they had, vets in Channing Frye and
Good
Richard
point.
Jefferson and Dante Jones and J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, Anderson Varejao, Mo Williams. I'm not trying to rub it in, but I think that is the key maker. All those guys that I'd mentioned at one point or another would be able to be, I don't want to say stars in the league. Some of them were, but fringe stars, very productive players, veterans. That's not to
And
say
that all
the
rolls back on the front office because they had ample opportunity. There's no shortage of vets that are ready for minutes or ready for a bench role, aka Udonis Haslam in this league. That you couldn't find one or two to stick on your bench for Luka is is an issue.
You're speaking facts, man. You're speaking facts. But we want to talk about, you know, veterans. We want to talk about NBA stars. We want to talk about a team that can win the championship, man. We got to be talking about the Milwaukee Bucks, man. Next up on our bold second half predictions, hot takes. Ty, what you think about this one? The Bucks will finish outside the top 4 in the Eastern Conference.
All right, guys. I know things got off to a bumpy start with Doc, 3-7 in his first 10 games. I get it, but it's still Damon Giannis. Okay, I think there's a better chance the Bucks finish first. Yes, first. I know they're 8.5 games out. Yes, first. Then slide outside the top 4. A lot of that is injury, but hate it or love these Bucks, their stars have posted, and that is a big deal, especially in the Eastern Conference when the two teams behind them, the Knicks and the Sixers, are limping into the All-Star break. Okay, I don't know if you buying what I just said because I don't even know if I believe it that they'll more likely to finish first. There's only about 25 games left because the way the NBA does the second half split is it's always been weird to me. But yeah, I just don't see them finishing outside the Forest. They're too good, too much talent.
Tyler, said like a true fan of the NBA, and all and for you non-true fans of the NBA sitting at home, man. Anybody who feels differently than what Tyler just said, I'm sorry, y'all gonna have to check yourself before you wreck yourself. We're not saying they're gonna be first, but before they fall out the top 4, they will be first. That's the point that we're trying to make. This is a very good, very better than solid. This is a championship contending Milwaukee Bucks team. This is a championship contender without the addition of Damian Lillard. Now you add in Dame Lillard, perennial all-star, perennial superstar, to go along with Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're not selfish. They're playing with each other. You throw in guys like Brooke Lopez, Malik Beasley. I mean, Chris Middleton just a few years ago, we were talking about him potentially taking that MVP from Giannis in the finals, right? So you know that they've got a bunch of dogs on this team. And at the end of the day, right, the chemistry is there. And the only thing that's going to stop this Milwaukee Bucks team from being a top 2 team is the injuries, is themselves. There's not another team in the East or the West that can beat them 4 out of 7 with ease.
And all that experience, all those veterans, all that pedigree where you're saying the Mavericks don't have, the Bucks got it. Okay, they've won a championship outside of Damian Lillard. I'm not sold on Doc Rivers. I can't lie to y'all and say that I am. But on talent alone, this team has got to get there. They don't have to be great on defense. I know it was a big step down losing Drew, but they just have to be good enough. And I think they'll be able to figure that out by the end of these 82 games.
Yeah, facts, man. And at the end of the day, right, if there's one thing Doc River needs to win is a big 3, and he's got it. Something he haven't had in his last couple of situations. So let's see. Maybe that'll help him. Maybe that'll help him lead him to the promised land.
All right. Well, speaking of Doc's current team to one of his former ones, the LA Clippers. The next hot take involved here is that the LA Clippers shock the world and make the NBA's make their. Let me say that again. Next prediction here is that the NBA. Fuck. Next prediction here is that the LA Clippers make the NBA Finals. Faraz, what you breaking out for this one?
Honestly, I have to crack the fingers. I'm ready to cook. Man, the LA Clippers will make the NBA Finals. I'm saying it. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. There is not another team right now in the Western Conference better equipped to beat this Clipper team. Yeah, you worry a little bit about the Phoenix Suns. It's really you worry about the Nuggets. Those are really the only threats that you got. But the way the Clippers have been playing, the way that the Clippers have been clicking off, they've got players in every position to match up with stars on other teams. Yeah. Barring injuries,
Hmm.
This LA Clippers team is going to the promised land. Are they going to win? I ain't say all that, but they're going to be at the dance.
Yeah, with the Kawhi PG led team, you always got to throw in that asterisk for injury. But I meant you hit it on the head, bro. Suns, Nuggets, Clippers, cream of the crop out west. 36-17 Clippers, third in the West, best record of that bunch leaving the All Star break. I don't know how you don't see this team if you've watched them as the favorites, bro. James Harden has this team humming after dropping their first 5 games with the new look roster. No team has been better over the past 2 months, bro. I'm convinced. Pencil them in. Conference finals, at least. Here they come.
It's not Memphis, but there's a parade inside my city. Yeah. Speaking of parade inside my city, yeah.
Hey.
None other than the first, none other than the second place Oklahoma City Thunder with their young stud Michael Jordan reincarnated SGA. Ty, this super hot take right here, but I'm confident. Our favorite Thunder, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander,
Yeah.
wins the MVP this year.
Bro, not as crazy as you think. Homeboy's a killer on the court and in the captions, but what he's been able to do this season is nothing short of amazing. Having this young squad, second in the West, woo. I mean, he finished fifth in MVP voting last season on an under 500 team. That's hard to do because we know how much voters care about winning. Now they're within a game and a half of first in the West. He's playing even better. MVP is within the sights, bro.
Facts. When you look at the numbers that he's putting up, I know you guys are gonna call me crazy, but I alluded to him earlier. Michael Jordan esque. 31.1 points, 5.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 2.2 steals, and a block. I promise you can copy and paste that stat from Michael Jordan's career. I promise you. So I say all that to say, man, top 2 in the West. No one expected much out of him. He's basically the biggest veteran on the team, and he's only been in the league for 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
Nah, man. SGA is the truth. We've been saying he's the truth. The only thing that has slowed him down up to this point in his career is the winning and the players around him. Now that they're doing that, I mean, it's hard to find a better player in the NBA right now than SGA. Straight up.
Crazy. And Sam Presti put on a masterclass again, getting Gordon Hayward for a bag of chips. Another veteran presence to bring in some pedigree, like we were talking about. Bro, this team's going to keep winning. And SGA is just going to keep being special because that's all he's shown us since he's entered the league, bro. I think this has some real steam. Okay. J Dub looks amazing. Chet is a two-way future all-star. No one can say that he's not. And SGA is even better than both of them, bro. I don't even know if they're a piece away. They could do it right now. They could actually do it. It'd be shocking.
Tyler, listen, if there's one thing you and I agree on, right, is that Michael Jordan's the GOAT. Right? We agree on that. Yeah. Now
Yeah.
let me read you. So Michael Jordan, the first year he ever won a championship was the 1991 season, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, his 7th year in his career.
Okay,
right?
I was gonna ask that.
Shea is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, his 6th year. All right. So 1991, when Jordan won the championship, he was averaging 31.5 points a game, 53% from the field, 30% from 3, 6.6 from rebounds, 5.5 for assists, 2.7 for steals. Shea's averaging 31, 54.6% from the field, better, averaging more from better percentage from 3-point, a little bit less. Hold on, a little bit less on the rebounds, a little bit better on the assists, a little less on the steals. Say all that to say, bro, we are witnessing greatness. Like, I mean, you almost can't make up those comparisons. 6th year SGA to 7th year Jordan. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
J Dub is the Scotty. Chet Williams is his Horace Grant. They don't have Phil Jackson on that sideline.
Definitely not.
Let's see if they can do it.
Definitely not.
Let's see.
Definitely not. Is Giddy coach?
We're going to have to clip that. I already got it marked.
Bro, perfect. Say less. I mean, I'm done with that. That point, that's gonna make a fire short.
Word.
Well, last up is the Warriors.
Yes, sir.
You want me to intro that since you got something cooking for that?
Yeah.
All right, bet. Last up, we talking about Finals MVP. Final hot take for this episode of the Hoop Plug, man. we've been shitting on the Warriors, man. I gotta be frank. We have not been giving them their flowers, right?
No.
Based on what we've been seeing, though, Tyler, will the Warriors sneak into the playoffs?
Yes. Warriors from the top rope. They said, you know what? We tried to get Braun. You saw that rumor? They tried to get Braun. It ain't work. We're gonna run it back. Okay. Clay, you headed to the bench. You know what Clay said? Okay. I'm gonna drop 35. I'm gonna drop a season high. That's what I'll do. Steph, reinvigorated. Got his swagger back. Just beat Ionescu. Okay. I think this team is gonna have a monster second half. All those no names that have been balling out are going to continue to do so. Steph's going to put the team on his back. Draymond's going to get his act together, maybe. And I think they're going to find themselves 9 seed, 7 seed in that range, in the play-in likely, but in the playoffs for sure.
I mean, shit, bro. 23-5 from Draymond. I don't know, man. That's GOAT numbers for Draymond. 20 points? Come on, man. The fact that he didn't have 9, 7, and 8? Yeah, no, that's not Draymond's back. Bro, the fact that Clay dropped 35 from the bench, our boy Brandon Podziemski, 13, 8, and 6. Even Andrew Wiggins is helping out. Yeah, yeah. As much as the dynasty is over, because it's over, the Warriors will sneak into the playoffs. There's no question about that.
They'll be all right. Nothing more, nothing less.
Straight up, straight up. As long as you got Clay dropping 35, this is a winning basketball team. I don't care if he's on the bench, a starter, out the arena. If he's dropping 35, they're winning basketball games.
Let's go. Let's go. Right. One more ride. What they say that last season in Chicago?
The last dance.
The last dance.
All right. With that being said, let's get into it, man. We're talking about All-Star Weekend. So far, so good, man. I mean, we haven't had an opportunity to see the new format in the actual All-Star game, but All-Star Saturday left no questions. That All-Star Weekend is here.
Star power was out. We got some Dame time in the three-point contest, and then Steph showing the OGs how it's done. Let's go. It was a good, entertaining night. Yeah, put them to sleep.
Put them to sleep. Put them to sleep. Night, night. You know? Yeah, bro, you said it. I mean, it was an entertaining All-Star Saturday. We got to see the NBA dunk contest. Our boy Mac McClung, they're just giving them to him at this point. You know, the three-point contest. We had stars from the NBA, stars from the WNBA. I mean, everybody showed up and showed out. Ty, where you want to start off with this?
Did you watch the dunk contest?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I did not. I saw Mac McClung one, but bro, it was not anything to do with this one. Even though I heard it was a little weak, it's all the last dunk contest they forced us to watch. I can't get through them anymore, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't blame you, bro. I don't blame you. And I mean, we're used to the days of, you know, Vince Carter and the biggest names in the league lining up against each other. I mean, even a couple years ago, you had Nate Robinson showing off against Dwight Howard. You know what I mean? But nowadays, I mean, Jamie Jacquez, I'm hoping to say his name right. Mac McClung, Jaylen Brown with the weakest D Brown
Jacob Toppin, they got Obi's little brother. They can't even get Obi no more. Like, it's crazy. It wasn't even that long ago these were good. Like, Zach LaVine going at it with
Aaron Gordon.
Those were elite contests. And it just feels like every year it's gotten worse.
Yeah, bro. I mean, honestly, you couldn't have said it any better. They could not get Obi, so they got with the Smart Sense brand. They got Jacob. Nah, man, you said it, bro. As much as we want the dunk contest to be entertaining, as much as the dunk is the most entertaining part of the game, you know, it's sad to see that, you know, diehard NBA fans like Tyler and myself won't even take the time to tune in, you know? And I think it speaks to, I mean, the format can't change, you know, but I think it speaks to the names that you got involved, right? You had a couple big names. You had the Jaylen Browns, you know, I mean, that's kind of where it ends. Mac McClung's last year winner, but for the most part, you know, the slam dunk contest left a lot to desire, you know? And before we get into the three-point contest, actually, I want to ask you a question, something that just came into my mind. Do you think the reason we are not as bought into the dunk contest is because of the prevalence of the three-pointer in today's game?
I know for the last 3 years, the three-point contest has been better than the dunk contest. I think there's a couple reasons. One, yeah, it is entertaining. When you have Steph, you actually in the 3-point contest have the league's best 3-point shooters. Where in the dunk
Facts.
contest, you have the G League's best dunkers. Like I don't, it's not adding up. And I think you do have a point though. Like that's the shot is mesmerizing. How they've added like that 4-pointer where it's like the deep Dame Steph range. I like
Yup.
that part of it. You got the time element, whereas in the dunk contest, people are just like, I don't know, missing dunks left and right. It's just a better product to watch too. So
Yeah, facts, facts. I would say so. And at the end of the day, Adam Silver, he's been a trendsetter. He's really leading the way in terms of changing the game and doing things a bit differently. So maybe it's time you revise the dunk contest format,
yeah,
Adam. I don't know. Maybe make certain rounds worth more points. Maybe I don't know, man. It's really
maybe
hard.
even like a horse style where someone sets the table with a tween the legs dunk, and then everyone else has to follow suit. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Just
Not
try
Ty.
something.
I really like that suggestion. If we know something about Adam Silver, he is not he is no stranger to trying new things.
Oh,
But when we talk about the things that we like, we talk about consistency. There's two words that really come to mind. It's 3-pointers. Talking about the 3-point contest. We've talked about Steph Curry. We've talked about the league's elite, the league's best shooter taking part. Why don't you start with what your favorite part of the 3-point contest was, Ty?
it had to be everyone and their mama landing on 26. I don't know. I don't know why that happened or how that happened. Even Sabrina landed on 26, which wasn't enough. But yeah, it's I don't know.
Shots. Nah, bro, facts. I mean, for me, I think my favorite part has to be, and it's something about this Minnesota trend, man. It's something
Mm,
about these Timberwolves. Everybody's favorite New Jersey native, Karl Anthony Towns, Big Cat. You know, he really showed up. Especially on that last Moneyball rack, whop, 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 back to back, back to back. You're like, okay, this guy can shoot. Then they run back the footage. A couple of the announcers were acting a bit snitchy. But yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but Karl Anthony Towns for that last rack had his toe on the line for every one.
yeah,
Does that
he's
mean
a
he should have been
2-point
disqualified?
specialist. Well, I think things work out as they did there, and he didn't end up winning, so it's all good in the hood. But yeah, that's kind of funny. Them size 22s, it's kind of hard to get behind the line.
Yeah, facts. And I mean, as much as you think you're there, you're not. And especially when you're competing with the likes of Steph, Trey Young, back-to-back 3-point, starry 3-point contest winner, Dame Lillard. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, man. Speaking of top players, speaking of balls, we got no one better than EvanAlexanderGrooming.com. That's right. The
Yes,
good
sir.
people over at EvanAlexanderGrooming.com, the best place for men's hair care, skin care, beard care, all in one. I mean, you guys see it. The body it's elite. It's shiny. The beard is tight. You know what I'm saying? Tight. Come on, man. Y'all see it. If there's one thing you're getting at the hoop plug, it's elite facial hair.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Keep that thing crispy. Keep it full. No patchy, no scratchy. That too, it can't just look good. It's got to feel good too. Make sure you're
Yup.
taking care of your beards, your hair care needs at EvanAlexanderGrooming.com. Plugging in that promo code hoop_plug_ for that smooth 20% discount.
Some light. For all the fans sitting at home, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. And as always, put some flavor in your ear.
Peace.